Welcome to Living the Dream, the show for dance teachers and studio owners. We live for the breakthroughs, the laughter, the messy moments, and the magic. Because the dream is not always perfect, it's real. Let's talk dance, studio life, and the journey. Here we go. Hey everybody, welcome to Living the Dream. I'd like to introduce you to my co-host. This is Erin. Tell everybody a little bit about you, my friend.
Hello, good afternoon, good morning, one of the two. Thanks for having me, Ree. My name is Erin Ray, and I own a studio in Massachusetts, and we are in our 21st season.
Awesome. You and I are going to talk in a minute. I want to say welcome to everybody. We're glad you're here and sharing your Monday morning with us.
If you're watching live, tell us where you're tuning in from, and we would love to see our dance community show up all over.
And remember, Living the Dream is also a podcast on Apple and Spotify. You can watch all or listen to, is what I should say, all episodes there, as well as on YouTube where you can watch and listen. Okay, Erin, this is some time that you and I get to spend together. How long we known each other, my friend?
Ooh, it goes back when I was young and with no confidence, as I always say. I would say pretty close to 13 years.
Yeah, I remember. I probably knew you before that, but I remember your first time coming to the retreat center.
Oh, that place changed my life. I miss it. A lot of us have a lot of memories at the retreat center. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I miss it too. Mm-hmm. But I am, it was a dream come true. And now I'm happy with where I'm at, you know? Right. It was so cool to get to know people that intimately and to work with them and see maybe somebody walking in on a Friday with this, I can't stand it, to Sunday going, I can't wait to go home, you know?
What I love about it is that I've created such wonderful friendships that we've met at the retreat center that we still keep in touch. That's what I love about it the most. Mm-hmm.
Tell everybody about your school. Are you more of an administrator? Are you still in the classroom? A little of both? What's going on there?
I wear all the hats, Marie. I wear all the hats, but especially this year, I am in the classroom with the dancers, and I love it. I love being in there with them. It's the reason why I opened the studio. I love creating such lovely humans. It's my passion. I love giving confidence to dancers. It's definitely fulfilled my heart this year. That's why I think this year is going so smooth, is I believe being in the classroom is what I love. I love running the business, but being in that classroom is just the best.
So was it something that you started doing again this year? You'd step back and then you went in?
A few years ago, I was like, I'm going to try to step back because I feel like that was like the thing to do. I don't love it. I love doing both, or multiple hats, I should say. I love it all. I love being the director. I love being the teacher. I love working in the business and on the business, all the things. I love it all. And I have my day-to-day pretty much planned out that I'm able to wear all the hats and be happy.
Okay, so if I could get a little personal with you just for 1 minute. There was a time where I feel like you were feeling beat down and maybe didn't have the confidence you have now. Mm-hmm. Tell our audience how that changed? Because now you are, you're an put up with nothing kind of girl running a business confidently. How'd that happen?
Well, first was being around other studio owners. I definitely feel that was a change for me, seeing how other people do it. I love learning from others. I learn every day. So I think being a part of the Gold Alliance has also changed me drastically. It's really opened my eyes. And getting systems in place, figure out what you need, what the business needs, and also getting the right people that are behind you also is a huge help. Also, meaning like my team, my staff, and my faculty is a huge game changer.
How do you, for those who might wonder or not have everybody on the same page with them, how did you get to the point where they're on that page with you? And is it sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't? How does that work?
I'm just honest with everyone, and I think it's also trust. We all have to trust each other. And I also, what they love is that they love seeing me in the classroom too. I feel like in some moments we're all on the same level, right? We're all learning from each other. Like I learned from my teachers, and then they learned from me. We're just a big team here. Mm-hmm.
You've done good, my friend.
Thank you. And you've always been a number one supporter for me too. So that's the reason why I stand here co-hosting on Living the Dream.
Oh,
look at that.
I'm so happy to have you and always proud of you. Yeah. So before we bring in Ricci and Brittany, I think we're going to have a great conversation. I want to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Jackrabbit Dance. Their support helps us bring these conversations to you.
If you're looking to streamline your systems and simplify studio management, Jackrabbit Dance is trusted by studio owners across the country.
This episode is sponsored by Jackrabbit.
And my commercial is not playing on live. Hang on 1 second.
This episode is sponsored by Jackrabbit Dance, the dance studio software empowering you to build the studio of your dreams. With over 20 years of experience, Jackrabbit has the solutions and industry insights to help your business grow. Want to increase student enrollment, optimize your pricing to be profitable, or improve staff retention? See how other studios are using Jackrabbit Dance to hit their goals year after year. To learn more, visit jackrabbitdance.com/benchmarks.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. Welcome, Brittany and Ricci Milan. Excited to have you on Living the Dream, you guys.
Thank you for having us here.
Thank you both for joining us. I've been actually looking forward to this. You two just inspire so many. And I think it's so cool to see a married couple in the dance community and running a studio together. I think it's really important for us to see it. Yes.
Yes. And a married couple that likes each other still. That's really cool. There you go. So let's start with the quick version here. Start with you, Brittany. Tell me how you got into dance. I know this story, but I want you to tell the audience.
Yeah, I grew up at my mom's dance studio because it was built onto the back of our house. So from the age of baby until, I was 18, I was dancing in the back of my house in my mom's dance studio. So I grew up there in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota, small little town. And after dancing every day, I decided to go to the University of Minnesota and get my degree in dance. And then I've been in the Twin Cities dancing and teaching, and I think I didn't know I wanted to own my own studio at first because my mom did that. I just assumed I wanted just only to dance and perform, and I knew that's what I wanted to do. And then as I started to teach more, I was reminded at how much I loved being around kids and how much I loved to teach and how naturally it came to me. And then all these ideas kept coming into my brain of what I wanted to do myself. And I jumped and I made the leap, and my family was really supportive, and now we're going into our 14th year, and yeah, and he's been along for the journey the whole time. So
Tell us about you, Ricky. When did you start dancing? Where?
Yeah, I got into dance because I saw a recital. I'm going to give him a shout out right now. His name was Gino Forletti, and I saw him dance on stage, and I was 5 years old, and I was like, I want to be him, because I was at my cousin's recital. And then I fell in love with dancing, and I got into dancing, and it wasn't long after that that dance got into me. And once it got into me, I've been trying to figure out ways to get it out for the rest of my life.
It never goes away. Once you got it, you can't get rid of it.
Yeah, and
that's a blessing most of the time.
Yeah, I think the one of the coolest things is the more you give it away, the more you get to keep it. And I think that's a strange part about dance. And yeah, so I've been having 1,000 different hats, like Aaron said, and celebrating all of them. And all of them come with different Velcro, and Velcro doesn't go good when you got long hair. But so as I rip my hair out, I'm thankful for the hair I have, and I keep finding the elements of every genre, be it contemporary, hip hop, tap dancing, ballet. All of them have different applications in how we interact with leadership, system development, culture. They all have different methods and different lessons. And so as we take those dance lessons and apply them to our lives, we find out creatively who we want to be. And as we develop who we want to be, people are either drawn to us or drawn away from us. And that's sort of the beautiful light of the choreography of life through dance.
It's funny because I have been doing some writing lately, a lot of writing lately. And one of the things that I am focusing on is each of our own uniqueness. And if those out there don't like who you are, or and it's not don't like, if the vibe isn't the right vibe, it's okay.
Exactly.
Yep.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Because everyone has a different way of expressing what's beautiful. And there is infinite beauty in this life. And so there's no way that we as individuals could ever harness all of that beauty. But we need to express the beauty we feel on the inside, like I said, when the dance got into me. And so as we express that beauty of what dance is to us, obviously it might rub someone else's beauty in a different way. Well, that just means you guys are supposed to work on different canvases, but we have infinite canvas. But we don't have infinite time. So let's not try to continue to fight over whose canvas we're working on, and go continue to explore. The exploration is so scary, Ree. It's so scary to find the space because we don't know what's out there. But when we have confidence in that exploration, that's one of the most inspiring things that artists do in this world, is say, maybe we don't know the answer, and maybe that's okay. We're going to dance through it, and it's going to be graceful and beautiful. And I think that that's what we're all in our own way sort of finding out, how I exist in this life and how dance exists in the world around me and why it's so valuable. It's so valuable.
Wow, I love that. Well, this actually goes into our next question. When you both look back, what was the moment you realized dance wasn't just what you did? It was who you were becoming.
I think I don't know if there was ever a time. I think it's just always been a part. We have this conversation a lot. It's always been a part of my family because it was literally built on the back of my house. And my family, it was a part of our house. And so it's been a part of every person in my family. And then it's been a part of me since since I was little, that I don't know if I know life without it, just because of how it's built into my life. So I don't know if there was ever a time. It's just always there.
I could so relate to that. Okay. The music playing in the other room. And it was just like, I make a joke of it. I thought everybody had a dance studio in their house until I was about 10 years old. I'm thinking you might have thought that too.
Yeah, I don't think I realized how wonderful it is. It was because the fact that now I have kids, and my mom would literally just like jump into the house, have dinner with us really quick, or like even just like we'd sit down, okay, we're having dinner, my mom would eat like 10 minutes and then go back in. And that just having that moment with us before she'd go back in. Like now we actually live much closer now. We live 7 minutes to our house, so it's awesome. So I can at times actually go home for a little bit, good night to the boys or whatever, and come back. Or we've made it work that, you know, we see each other almost every night. So that's awesome. But yeah, so I don't think I realized it until I moved away from it, how special that was. So I think, yeah, it's just been part of who I am since birth.
Go ahead, Ricky. I'd love you to answer that question.
Remind me the question.
When was it that dance?
Hit him up again.
So
Aaron.
when you looked back, if you look back in your younger years, what was the moment you realized dance wasn't just what you did? It was who you were becoming.
Sure, identity. That's a really tricky question. I guess I tried to get away from it. I guess in my early 20s, because I went to a competitive studio and I got a lot of accolades and there was a lot of attention, and thank goodness there was no social media. And but I did that early 20s thing where I went to the New York and I went to the LA and I saw a lot of things and experienced a lot of things that I loved, but a lot of things that I did not love and that didn't resonate with what I believe dance was calling me on the inside voice. And so there was a discrepancy between what I felt I wanted to be, or the identity of what I wanted dance to express from inside to out, and what the world and culture I was seeing. So I sort of moved home and wanted to give up on all things dance.
Wow.
And I'm really, really blessed and lucky to have a great friend named Alex Rossi, who's a guitar player, singer, songwriter, who was my roommate when I moved home. And at that time, the dude just showed up.
Yeah.
At that time, he was like, bro, I love you. You know, you're the dance man. It's in you. I see you at my shows. I see you. And I didn't know how that would work in the world, like I was speaking about earlier. How does that work in this world? Because it doesn't work in that world that I see, that dance world. And he goes, you don't gotta apologize for your music, baby. You go to do your thing. And so I've been trying to figure out, like I said, I've been trying to figure that out. And one of the rap lyrics I wrote is, let your light shine bright despite the shadows it cast. And if it doesn't fit in, your light doesn't fit into this grid on this theater in this world, there's another theater, there's another opportunity. And if it's true and you believe in it, continue to feed the seeds, not the weeds. Like, what is it that you're trying to grow and what is beautiful about it? Don't apologize for your light, and don't apologize because it doesn't fit in. Just go find space and find somewhere to share your beauty. And though I tried to get rid of it many times in that early 20s, and eventually came to terms that it was a part of how I share my light and part of my purpose.
Wow.
Wow, yeah, that gets a wow.
Monday motivation talk.
Couldn't be more thankful. Actually, one of the times that I was trying to get away from it, she brought me to Regold's thing in Phoenix. And there I was laying on a grassy hill outside a parking lot, writing poetry in my phone about what am I doing here? You know, like this dancing, I don't know, all the different perspectives and feelings. So as I was doing that, this guy walks up to me, and there he is, the guy running the event. And he's like, what are you doing laying in the grass? And I'm like, writing poetry, I'll share it with you. So to know that there are people out there that are open and that want to understand what this dream concept we talk about is and how it manifests and the challenges required to manifest, bring something from the inside to the out to be shared. And with sharing that circle, how some people are drawn to, pushed away, irritated by, frustrated with, how does it exist in commerce, all these challenges. We're not alone. We're not alone in the challenge, but we are alone in the pursuit of the inside to out work. So.
Ricky, I don't know how long ago that was, but I remember it distinctly. And I remember I was doing an Ask Me Anything, and you came up and asked. I can't remember the question, but you asked a brilliant question, and I said, I like that guy. I like that guy. So I want to take us somewhere else. You too. I feel like, especially at the retreat center, I find husband and wife teams, maybe they weren't a team business-wise, but the wife would bring the husband. Some were teams. but I always felt like it was a dream to have your husband involved in your business, and whether they are a partner or just supporting you in it. How does what makes your partnership work?
Want to start?
Sure. I think it's a never-ending balance, and I think that like this year, into last year into this year, I've been trying my best to stay out of decision making and stay out of influential. Because as you can probably already tell, I'm a strong personality with a strong voice of like leadership and aesthetic and how I feel. And if in our relationship I'm going 75 to 25 on what I think about her business, there's going to be resentment. And so I'm trying my best to let myself stay out of those decision makings and try to stay engaged in teaching tap dance, developing great tap dancers, developing the essence of what I think tap is and how it could manifest into these kids' hearts, into their journeys in beautiful ways, and help them in all their dancing, and then how dancing can help them in all their ways of leadership, communication. So I'm trying to really just stay inside of that box of tap dancing, and then try to be a good follower for her and a good supporter for her, even if I might have a different perspective on a thing. It's like, well, that's going to have negative effects on our relationship. So I want to make sure that they're not. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah, that part is like hard for me too, because I want his opinion, but then I also like want his opinion in a way that just like, I also want him just to like praise me and love me, you know, like I'm like, I want you to tell me the truth, but I don't want you to tell me the truth, you know, kind of thing. Because he's really like, I want him to be honest, he'll be really honest. And I also like appreciate that, you know, like and I've learned that like where I want his honesty. Like, you know, when he's coming in and looking at my little kid's tap dance, I'm like, okay, give me your honesty about like what I need to do to make this, you know, look more, whatever. It's slow, it's fast, it's what I need to do. And he's really good about telling me those kind of critiques, and I can take those. Other ones I've learned a little bit emotionally hard for me. So I don't know. We've worked through all of them. So I'm thankful that like we both talk through everything. And I am also super thankful that he understands what I'm going through. So if I'm having a hard day at work with, I don't know, a dancer or a parent or whatever, I can come home and talk to him about it and he understands. And that probably is the best part about our relationship, being in the dance world together, is that I don't have to go above and beyond to explain what I'm feeling, because he already knows what I'm feeling. But then he can help me through that part. And that's nice. He's very much so my support in that way. But yes, I've learned I can't ask him for opinions on everything, because like he says, he's like, I would do it a little differently because that's how I would do it. Right. And I understand that, and I'm okay with that. But yeah, I've learned to pick and choose.
Yeah. And I'm sure there's, hopefully today people are watching married couples, or they can listen later on, but what would you tell another couple trying to build together so they don't burn out?
That you're both wrong. And you got to learn how to be good at being wrong.
Wow.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
That was a great answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course you're both right. But because you're both right, you know, every sword has two edges. So you're going to have to leave space for the fact that you might not have it perfect. And the younger you are, the more difficult that is, because you're so convicted by your perspective. You're so convicted, and you're a passionate person because you believe in what you have to say and what you have to do. So you have to just fight yourself on the inside to say, leave space, leave space. I might be wrong. And lo and behold, you'll find out that you were wrong in ways, and that there is space, and there is other room for other ideas to manifest in beautiful ways. And there's other ways to do it. My friend Alex Rossi sings a song. There's more than one way to do it right. And when he released that song, I was like, so what do you mean by that song? And he just tapped my shoulder.
That's awesome. Very cool.
I want to go to, I've known you guys for a while, and I've worked with Brittany a lot. And I know it was your dream to make a move.
Mm-hmm.
to get out of the place you were in and start fresh. Tell me about the move. How did you know this was the time?
Well, it started with when my lease was up. So it's kind of, that was the initiation.
Okay.
And everything. The lease was coming up, you know? And so that was the number one. And then it just, everything from there kind of fell into place. Like we started looking, you know, years before the lease came up, and it was like, do we buy something? Do we purchase another person's studio? Do we, you know, there's a lot of different options, and everything didn't work until this worked. And I think that's just how we found the right spot, the right place for us. Because it was like 3 years of looking and 3 years of like thinking we found it, and now we didn't find it, thinking it was going to work and it didn't work. And I'm such a dreamer, in the fact that like any situation that came about, I was like, this is it, because this and this. And then I'd be like, shoot, it's not, you know, and I wouldn't get my hopes up, because I always believe that, I don't know, I'm a big believer that if I want something to happen, it'll happen. I can make it happen, can manifest it. And so I was very ambitious in that. I didn't ever let it get me down. But it was hard, because it was a long journey for 3 years, I guess. It was a long journey to figure out exactly if this was going to work, and time was coming, and it was like getting closer and closer. And I'm like, oh my gosh, are we going to find it? And through the people here in the city of Bloomington, I actually wrote to the city council. I'd had a hard time finding the right people to communicate with here in the city for 13 years. And then I just decided to reach out to the city council. And then like the day later, they like responded with, this is the person you should talk to. And her name is Barb. And from there, she like was the person to connect me with the landlord of this space. And everything just kind of kept falling into place. And they found me funding. And it was just, I don't know, it felt like, okay, this is supposed to happen. So it was really awesome. Yeah.
And I remember, because we were part of the Gold Alliance together, and I remember we would, you know, all on Friday, we talk about our wins or what we need help with. And you always inspired me, because you were always like, oh, another hump, but you were always so positive. I was like, this girl can handle anything. And I'm a true believer of the universe just handles things for us when it's meant and when it's supposed to happen. We just have to it's okay. We're going to have humps in our life, and just let things happen. And eventually it will work in our favor. And you guys are just an inspiration to all. You really are.
Oh, thank you.
Likewise.
I just really, I believe that nothing great comes easy, right? So like every time I'm like, nope, I know it's going to happen, but it won't happen with a snap. It's going to happen through time and through ups and downs. So.
Yes, absolutely. So with the move, how did it help increase your enrollment?
So everything started falling in place. The city has been super helpful. They did a great promotional video for us. They invited me to city council. So I received all this like marketing and PR through them. And then they have found me help through their programs, the city programs that I didn't even know existed. That were free to small business owners. So they were really helpful with all that. And then with our new space, we're like, okay, we're going to like use this as a great opportunity to, you know, kind of brand ourselves. So we have a new logo, we have a new space, a new look. It's a fresh start. So all those things have kind of helped to like, you know, increase the conversation and the word of mouth. And so then all that I think has helped a lot. Where I've worked with Dance Motion Marketing, and they're awesome. I've received so many new people through them and through like just the online social media stuff that they've done. So I really think I found all the right people, or a lot of the right people to kind of help me piece it together that I was missing. And literally, because we're in a retail space, people are walking by all the time and they're like, oh, what's this? Or there's a mailbox right outside the front door. And there's so many grandparents that come, and they literally they come, and they put their mail in the mailbox, and they're like, oh my gosh, I need to tell my grandchild about this. Or what's
every
this place?
day?
Every day. And then they're like, oh, this is so great. We love having this in our community. And so like, it's almost as if it is like we're brand new in so many ways, because we've been in Bloomington for 13 years, but it's a different part of the city. And just because of the freshness of the new look and the new space, it's just like, I don't know, it's been super motivating for us, and then just has driven new people to the new space. So it's, yeah, all the pieces are falling.
I love it.
I feel like you have more confidence in this new space. How did it change you to move into this new space?
Yeah, I do feel like I understand things better. Like the 13 years before I've learned a lot, and I've learned the good and the bad, the things that work and that don't work. And I think I've been so excited to start in a new space. I'm like, everything's going to be really organized, and I want everything to be, just so clean and clear for when people walk in here, and for my staff. And with that, having this like idea of a fresh start, whatever reason, was really motivating, exciting, and then brought me confidence, because I'm like, I know where everything's at. If that makes any sense, but that was a big part of it. And also everything that I went through to get here. There was a lot of bumps that we like just recently had to go through. And I think that I found my voice more through all that, of like what I want. And I've learned what's right for Élevé and what's not right for Élevé. And I think that has helped me see the vision of what Élevé is more. And so I think I have a clear idea. And then because of that, I'm more confident. And anytime I need to make a tough decision or talk to a parent about something, I'm like, okay, well, what is our vision for the studio? And then I make my choices and decisions based off of that. And then I just feel really confident because I know I'm doing the right thing for the studio. So, yeah.
I'm going off script, Erin.
Wow.
Bear with me. Two things I want to say. Just out of curiosity, the first one, what's not right for Élevé?
I think that one of the things I learned is that we, having good teachers at the studio are really important. People who want to come in and teach and educate the dancers. And to me, that is the most important. Taking even the little girl in the back corner who doesn't know how to shuffle, and I can't do that shuffle, but we're working really hard, and the teacher wants that dancer to be able to do that. That's important to me, and that's important to our vision here, that every student is getting quality dance education and technique. Because I can hire any choreographer, or we can bring in different people, which I think is also really important and really valuable to the dancers. But I think having a really strong dance educating staff is what is right for Élevé. That's one thing I learned.
I forget what my other question was. But go ahead, Erin.
All right. So where this is fresh with you guys, right? If someone is considering moving or relocating, what should we plan first? And what do they usually forget? Like, what's like plan? Like, what's the plan?
Okay. What's the plan? I mean, I don't know. I think budget was like number one. I think budget is like, what can I afford? And that kind of narrowed my search. So I think that was number one. Like, what can we afford? And what is, obviously the dream is like this, like way bigger than I can, and
Right.
is that, can I attain that yet? So like, number one, the budget. And then the things that you don't think about are like all the hiccups and the bumps, like I think I knew about them, but just like the different things that you have to get okayed with the city, and like we had to go through a few different like avenues because the current space that we have wasn't in the correct zoning. So we had to go to the city and get that approved. And luckily, because I had the city behind me this time and I talked to the right people, they were helpful, and that they made that go faster. So I had to get this approved to be a retail space. Is not always, I guess, for Bloomington in the correct zoning. So those kind of things came up. Or like,
did that make you nervous doing that? Walking in and asking for them to change the zoning? I'm just curious.
Well,
did it feel intimidating?
The first time I had to do it for our first space, I was super nervous because they asked me lots of questions that I didn't know I needed the answers to. And that was really intimidating because I'm like, here, this like one person, and they had everybody, like even like the fire department there, because it's all about like, all the codes, everything has to be to code. And you're like, I don't know. Like, or how is this? Like, they were concerned about like the overlapping of like schedules. They wanted to have like a 10-minute space in between so that there's enough time for people to get out of the parking lot. And I'm like, but that's not how this works. Like, we don't have time for 10 minutes. We only have so many hours after school to get these kids here. So the first time I had to, but this last time was awesome because I didn't have to. The city, like the lady Barb, who has been so helpful, she literally did that work for me. So it was a blessing.
Great.
I didn't have to. However, I was prepared this time because I'm like, okay, if I have to, I need all these answers for them. But so those are the things that I think that, you know, the logistical things that you have to get done through the city that you don't always think about, I think, right away. Because especially if you're like a dreamer and you just look at like, oh, I have a drawing from one of the times I went to the Dance Life retreat, and it's like a building, and I still have it in my office, and like what my big dream is, and it may not look exactly like that, but it is that, you know. And so, but it's still like in my office, hung there, because
I love that.
it's important to me.
And I'll never forget when she made that drawing, and I'll never forget what we were experiencing at that time. And then she brings me this drawing, and I was like, I'm a fan of optimism, but this is a lot. And she's like, don't get in the way of me right now. Don't you start getting in the way of me right now. And I was like, okay, let's go.
You have to picture it in order to make it happen.
She was
It may not happen when you are thinking it is. It may take 10 years, 15 years, but if you don't picture it, you're never gonna get there.
Right.
That's right.
Same like building a dancer. If a dancer doesn't start to see themselves as a dancer, then they're never gonna start to see themselves in the mirror as a dancer. So you got to start to picture it. All the lessons and applications come from dance. It's really wild. But like one thing I cued from just what she was saying right there was like, she was really overwhelmed in that first meeting with the city, and notice how I was doing a good job of staying out of it, not marching in there telling them what I think. And so she was overwhelmed, and she had these different experiences, right? And that was a lot of questions and a lot she hadn't anticipated or wasn't in her mind, wasn't in her blueprint for how to build this dream. But then now flash forward, who's her advocate in this project? The city. And who is helping with challenges in every way? The city. And so that what looked like at first is going to be a huge hurdle and a huge challenge has become something that now is helping her. So she climbed through that challenge. She learned that lingo and language. She learned who those people were, what their action items were, and she learned how to answer those questions in language that made sense to them. And when she did that, they became part of her team and her community. All those people have brothers and sisters, kids that all want to dance too. Now they feel like they're connected to this and they're part of this dream as well. So I think if you look at it right off the bat as something that's not going to be, you have to overcome or sidestep, then you're not going to build that relationship. But if you work through it in a positive way, like she did, now look at all the different positive connections she has, and that's all marketing, you know?
I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Love you guys. Before I go to my next question, those of you that are listening or watching today, check in with us. Let us know where you're from. Got any questions? Let us know. So you guys, you're raising two kids at the same time. You're running these careers that kind of never shut off. What have you learned about balancing that personal, children, with business?
I learned that being a flag football coach is harder than it seems. Shout out to the Richfield Football League. I'm a football coach this year. I learned and I'm humbled every single day by how many thoughts I had about parents before I was in this role, and how it's never ending, like you said, and neither is the career. And so inevitably it becomes one day at a time, and it's really focusing on this moment, and it's focusing on what is the values. And it's grabbing the biggest picture and trying to figure out applications in micro moments. And you're going to fail a whole bunch. So like leave room for yourself to be frustrated with yourself and not know and be a failure at parenting. And inevitably, if you lead with love, you're going to be a great parent, and you got to have that confidence. Like she said, have the confidence. So that's what I keep learning every single day is like the juggling of hats, the juggling of roles. Aaron wears 1,000 hats too.
Yes,
And just
2001.
love these guys.
2001.
I just want to love my little boys and with all my heart every single day. And I know if I try to make that chief importance in my life, then everything else will be okay. And if they're in my art, if they're in my heart, if they're in my everything, then I know they'll be okay. And another thing that my mom said to me recently, I don't even know if I told you this one. She said, well, you know, everyone is a little screwed up, Ricky, so it's okay if you make some mistakes. And I was like, yeah, everyone.
That's something my mother would have said to me for sure. Yes,
I was like,
yes.
Oh,
And I would, don't you feel like you're grateful for that part of who you are?
yeah.
It's being an artist.
Yes. And use and take those moments with your kids. My son just turned 16 on Saturday. Like it to think back of the times when he was little. I look at him now, I'm like, wow, he's 6'1" and he's an adult. Like looks like an adult. Like use that time with your kids and embrace it and love them and hug them and kiss them because they do grow quick.
I'm
quick.
really grateful for being able to make my own schedule because of that. So I can not miss out on things and make it to his basketball games and make it to, anything that that is important, to which I try to get to as many things or volunteer at their school when I can. And
Yep.
And, Ricky does that too, as much as he can as well. And I think we've come up with our routine. I think that's the biggest thing with the boys. It's like, this is our routine. This is who is putting them to bed this night. This is this is who gets them to school this day. And it leaves a lot on the weekends. But I think what works for them is that we have a routine that's consistent. And because I can,
choreography, improvisation. Choreography,
yes,
improvisation.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Here's the routine. You better be able to improvise.
It's all art.
Where the next phrase starts. Okay, so choreograph. Oh, we're off the choreography. We're off the next phrase. We're back on the choreography.
Yeah, even with parenting, we have to have it all planned out like when we do our choreography too, right? That's just how we roll. But what does a successful week look like for you guys? Like with not just the studio. So with the four of you, how does the week look like? How do you keep everything?
Which hour you want?
Honestly, I feel like successful means like for us right now with our boys that we get through our routine and that everybody is not we're not having emotional breakdown, we're doing it in a happy, healthy way. And I guess the emotions are happy and healthy too, because we have to get through them. But I think for me right now, it's okay, we get through Mondays, Ricky's here until late. So I take them home and I get them fed and put to bed. And if I can get them fed and put to bed in a happy way, then we're good. And then they get up in the morning and they're not grouchy. It's funny, but those are the things that are if our schedule goes according to plan in our routine, everyone is a little bit more
nice.
I don't know. To me, that's a win. And then it sets us up for the rest of the week. And then, I don't know, because there's a lot that goes into every single day for us, because our boys also are super active and have a lot of his energy. And so because of that, we have to keep them really,
that's just boys. Boys have a lot of energy.
Right.
The minute they're up, they're like, bing.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So every day.
Absolutely.
And then it's either me or him or both of us. We have to one drops off, one picks up. And so success means we made all those things happen with smiles on our faces. and yeah.
And like Ria's taught us, and for sure taught me, is living the dream. And when somebody asks how you're doing, they don't want to hear about this map. They want to hear that you're living the dream because they're in their map. And so they need solace. They need to escape into the mighty bubble that is dance. And in Minnesota, I'm just going to jump right here. In Minnesota, speaking of success, we've been dealing with a lot of challenges lately. And we've been dealing with, and that stuff is macro challenges, world politics, all these things. And let me tell you something. These people don't need to come to dance to have more of that conversation. They need to escape. I need to escape. She needs to escape. And we need a bubble of safety. We need a bubble of dreams. We need a bubble of lessons that teach us how to manifest beauty, because this world needs beauty. We don't need to fight anymore. but we do need to
Okay.
fight for dreams.
I want to say that
Mm.
I was coming to what you just brought up, and it's not something I talk about. I don't want us to get political, but I've thought about you two who just love people and love art and create poetry and do all that you do.
Mhm.
Tell me about what it's like or what it was like during this last period of time in Minnesota for you.
I
Who
mean,
wants to start?
well, let's just get some parameters to the conversation. One of those parameters is that I identify, or I Caucasian. You know, I'm Italian and Irish, and she's not, and that has made a big challenge to this whole thing, and her perception of this thing. And I'll let her go, but I just wanted to say what I just said about the bubble is hugely relevant to how I'm trying to handle this personally. And then also as a leader, how do I handle this? And then for me, and she knows this about me too, is do not let me get angry. I can't go anger. Once I go anger, I have a hard time for days at end. And this has teetered on my anger. And once I get in that space in my mind and my heart, it takes days to recover for me, and everything is affected. So as stuff's coming at me, it's just like, all right, well, I'm going to escape into the bubble. Let's focus on this. What is the intention of this song? What is the intention? Who are these kids and what are they experiencing as a team? Why are they not da 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 da? What can we do to work through this? Da 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 da. What challenges do we have with this project? What are the messages? So I'm trying to focus on individuals and the individual difference I can make, so I don't let this frustration of this situation and the anger of it and the chaos and the violence of it, I can't let that get to me, because otherwise I change. And once I change, I got to get me back. So that's my thoughts. But she has a much different experience because of her race, ethnicity, and culture. And then that's another part that also makes me angry. But sorry.
No.
I mean, it's been emotional. It's been really emotional for me. And I think that studio's been the happy place that I can come to, because this is where everyone, and this is where my heart is, this is where love is, this is where joy and peace and everything is. And so when everything started happening, I was having a really hard time and just sad, so sad. And so I was like, let's bring love to the studio. We talked about like wearing our Minnesota love to the studio, and some of the kids have made posters of just hearts and love to put on the windows. And that was like really one of the things we did to just, like, for me, I think I needed to do, I healed a little bit through coloring and drawing pictures, believe it or not. But our kids go to a Spanish immersion school, and a lot of their classmates are not in school right now, and their classes have been much smaller, and that's hard. And then just seeing their nervousness for what those kids are going through and their friends, and then their nervousness for me because of what they think might happen to me, and just how I've been treated here in Minnesota. I've never been ever treated any differently. I've never felt different until this past, month.
Wow.
And so it's been really sad in that way. And it's been, and I will say probably the people who are treating me that way are not from here. But yeah, it's just been so sad for me. And I don't know, without getting into it too much, it's just, it's been hard. But dance has made me get through it. And he's really good at reminding me of all the positives and all the good things in life, and staying in the bubble. And so that's been helpful. But it has been really hard, because I think also there's anger that comes with, like, there's so much happening here. And that whole feeling of like, how does the rest of the world continue on? Like nothing is wrong, when it feels like the world over here is crumbling. And that part actually has been really hard for me, because I'm like, I'm seeing it and hearing and also like witnessing what's happening to families that I know, kids that can't come to the dance studio anymore because they're too afraid to leave their house.
Wow.
And things like that. And that to me is like, just, it breaks my heart. So much of it breaks my heart. And then to see the rest of the world. And I know that that's what life is. And I know that life has to move on. But that has been really difficult for me. So I don't know. It's It's been hard.
The rest of the world is watching. You are not alone. It's just, I feel like, I think Ricky said it, like there's a bubble that you have to put yourself in when you can't do anything.
Mhm.
Otherwise, like you said, Ricky, you become angry. And I've seen myself get that way. I can get over it probably faster, but it's not that people are not aware. I just have thought about you guys a lot because I know who you are and what your souls are like. And this is the opposite of that.
Right. It's easy to get over it faster when it's not tangible, but like when it's right there, it's like, what is this? And as a leader of community and someone that's trying to infuse optimism into the connective tissue of our community, and you spend your life doing this, you have to believe more than critique the world you live in. So as a person that preaches that 51 to 49 belief to critique, to watch this destruction and this divisiveness and this violence, and you can't, it's tangible. It's right there happening, right in your face, in your neighborhood. And I don't think people understand that part. So frustrating, man.
But you two have created such a safe place at your studio, though. So your community is watching you be such strong leaders throughout it. Isn't that so cool?
Yes, even your students. See, we should be moving along here, but I want to say something. We don't realize sometimes the impact we're having on our kids that has nothing to do with dance. Zero to do with their training, but about the mentors that they're with and the people that they're with. And sometimes that impact isn't, they're not seeing it or feeling it on that date. It takes a while, but then it has happened. So that's kind of a good way to look at it, I guess, if I do say so myself. Let's go to something fun. This is our rapid fire round. Quick answers. First thing that comes to mind.
Yes. All right. Coffee order. What do we like to drink for? What's your coffee?
I like green tea. I don't like coffee.
Oh, okay.
Cold brew, black.
I'm a black coffee drinker too. And you know how that came to be? Dance competitions. I used to be a cream and sugar person, but after years and years of going to dance competitions and there was no cream, no sugar, you had to learn to drink it black. Best snack on a long studio day.
Wow. Best snack.
Like at the studio or after the studio?
Ooh, I don't know. I didn't want to get that specific. At the studio.
Ooh, I don't know. At the studio, I like a Sour Patch Kid or something like that. Like a little something sweet like that. But then at home, I love popcorn and a Diet Coke. Funny, but popcorn and a Diet Coke. That's what I love.
Yeah, I like that Himalayan salt popcorn, and I've been doing pumpkin seeds.
Awesome. One studio task you'd happily outsource forever.
Costumes. Costumes.
You need someone to do it for you, right?
Yes, please.
Yes.
I don't want to hear anything about it. What about you?
That would be it.
What's a phrase you say in class all the time? Go ahead. I interrupted you, Ricky. Go ahead.
I said the challenge with costumes is you have at least 1,000 opinions of your own, and everyone else does too. And it's just like you get it done, but you never can get it.
Never get it done.
It's true. So what's a phrase you say in class all the time?
You have like 1,000.
I have 1,000. I'll do the one I end my class with. I always end my class. I put my hands together by my heart, And I say, let's put our hands together by our heart and travel the longest road in the universe, the road from our hearts to our minds. The dreamer in me honors the dreamer and dreams in each and every one of you. Unicorn bows to all who dream. On behalf of all the music and dance in the history of the universe, I just want to say peace. So that's one thing I say every single class.
All right, so you need to come over to Massachusetts to my school and then do that same thing to my kids.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's funny because a lot of the 6 girls that just graduated from the studio last week, they were here from the very beginning, almost all of them. And I was like, Ricci has a lot of different motivational speeches he's given them, lots of all of these quotes that they will remember forever. And it's funny because sometimes I walk in the class and I'm watching him talk and I'm watching their eyes and they're like, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like he's become their dad in a way, okay, Dad, here you are, giving us this other. But then we sat down with those 6 girls before they left and they're like, they will remember all those things, even though it seems like they're not taking them in. They remember and they will probably use them themselves, because they even said that, when I asked them about their goals, they use some of the same words that he uses when class. So it does make a difference when you keep saying the things over and over again, even though it seems like it doesn't.
Here's one I said to them at that meeting. I'm not going to swear, but I swore when I told them, I don't care how you feel about me. This isn't about ever been how you feel about me. I only care how you feel about you. And this is all to help build you in your eyes. So work on that. Let's work on that.
Wow. You have me speechless, and that takes a lot. All right. So what's your most used emojis? For right now, for your mood, what's your emoji?
Emojis.
What emojis?
You've done that a couple of times.
Yeah, I use this one all day in all the text threads, and then I use the rocket. Let's take off. Let's stay strong and take off.
I like to use this one, the prayer one. I'm thankful, I'm praying, I'm grateful.
See,
all that.
Yeah.
I've always been stuck on, is it a prayer or is it a thank you?
I think it's
or
both.
is it both?
Isn't a thank you a prayer? Isn't gratitude a prayer? Doesn't gratitude help?
Ooh, you got me there, my friend. I had
Absolutely.
not put that together. You're
Turn
a genius.
expectation into appreciation. Anytime we practice gratitude, we alleviate the challenges of before and after and get ourselves present. And meditation and prayer get us present and in connection with the Creator. So I think gratitude is the strongest prayer we can practice because it transcends religion and dogma. And so when we practice gratitude, we do a prayer of a collection, a connection, and us. And so gratitude for me is one of the most powerful tools to any conflict.
Wow.
A song that instantly lifts your mood.
Right now, I love the Nueva York from Bad Bunny. That's the best right now. That's my favorite right now. I just want to learn. I want to learn all the choreography to that dance. Dance it. Because that to me is joy. That watching those people dance, that to me is happiness right now.
Man, I'm so musical. This is going to be the weirdest answer you've ever heard. The song that instantly lifts my mood is the song that I'm working on. And it's always a new song that I'm working on, whatever chapter of month it's on. And I'm always creating songs. And so as a collaborative force in this world, as I work with musicians to build songs, and let me just say in this moment, as I wear my Prince necklace, Slim Shady Tupac, let me say that my love for musicians, Alex Rossi, I could go on and just list a million. My love for actual musicians in a time when we're developing music in new ways, and I appreciate and I'm so thankful for all those new ways, but true musicians who actually spend their life trying to bring music out of themselves and out of their community is one of the most beautiful and profound things. And so the next song that I'm collaborating on is my most thankful, awesome thing, and also the most challenging thing in my life at any given moment. So it's both. It's something that's torturing me and something that's going to bring the most light out of me. Sorry, big answer.
Our love for Stevie Wonder is one of the things that brought us together.
Oh.
No, Stevie Wonder, both of us together for sure.
Love it.
Okay, so
like that was a rapid fire question, Ricky.
I want to say, because I've been thinking it listening to you, Ricky, this is nowhere on our script. You should apply for the next Dalai Lama, Ricky. You know who the Dalai Lama is?
Yeah, the Dalai Lama. Yeah, it's a leader in India or something. I'm not.
Go look them up. I think you could. They look, they have to look all over the world. It has to be found to be the right person.
Yeah.
I think
Can I tell you
do
something?
it.
Can I tell you something? And she could attest to this directly because she's my wife. That yes,
Okay.
There's a lot of perception, psychological perspective, leadership. I study a lot of things, but I'm just as broken as you or any other human being, and I have just as much darkness as any other human being. And it's not all candy canes and rainbows. And to bring the aesthetic and beauty I see into the world, there has to be space made. So anytime I'm implementing something what I believe to be beautiful, someone else might have to be editing theirs. And so I'm aware of that, and I'm still trying to figure out how to be, so thank you for the acknowledgement of the message I'm trying to share, but that message isn't mine, and I'm working on me every day, bro.
I got it. Thank you, Brittany. Thank you, Ricky, for sharing your story with us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes. This was so wonderful. Thank you. And to everyone watching today, thanks for being part of this amazing dance community we have all built.
Amen.
And remember, you can subscribe to Living the Dream on Apple and Spotify, as well as YouTube. Never miss a conversation.
And thank you again to Jackrabbit Dance for sponsoring today's show.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. And everybody, look at life and say to yourself, it's good. It's good. And I can live the dream. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks again. Thank you, Erin. It was a blast.
Thank you. This was so much fun. Thank you. I loved being with everyone today.
That's it for this week's Living the Dream. Thank you for being here, and thank you for giving dance kids a place to belong. Take the lesson, take the inspiration, and take care of yourself too. Keep living the dream. See you next time. Thanks, you.